Hey guys, we are going to be going through an introduction to looping. And looping is basically a way to execute code time and time again. And so if you want something to do it over and over and over without you having to actually say, well, in this case, when we do our tutorial, we're going to have it basically log several different numbers in a sequence. And so if we didn't want to go through and like manually on the screen go print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4, you can actually develop a loop that says, okay, we want to start at 1 and we want to end at 5 or 4, etc. And so that's what we're going to be going through today. So to start, we're going to establish a variable, and we're just going to put y. Integer y. The next thing that we'll be doing is putting in our for loop. And the for loop is built into Objective-C. And so you don't have to worry about, actually developing this loop or anything like that. So this is our for loop function that we're going to start. Now let me back up there. Now in Xcode 4, you can see it already breaks out, well, a little bit of helper for you guys. And it keeps disappearing. Man, this thing is a bugger tonight. Alright, so I'm going to actually write it out so you guys can see. But as you can see, the first condition is going to be the initialization. Second is going to be the actual condition that we're validating against. And the last argument within there is going to be our increment. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to just comment this out so you can see it. So our for loop has three basic arguments within: initialization, condition, and our increment. Just so you guys have a heads up. Then below that, which we'll get into, is going to be our statement. So this is going to be, like in our case, we're going to print it to the screen or NSLog it to the screen, and so you guys can see where it's coming out. So that's kind of our basic for looping arguments and how we're going to initialize it. So for this tutorial, we're going to start with the for, tab over the initialization. There, now they stay. Oh, man, I can't figure this out. Alright, so the initialization, we're going to say y, which is our variable, is equal to, let's just say 2. Now we're going to go into the actual condition, which in this case, let's count up to, let's say 23. So we're going to go y is less than 23. In our increment, we're going to put in y equals, let's just say y plus 1. So we want y to go up 1 for every run of the program. Another way we could state this is y plus plus. If you remember from the previous tutorial, some of the different the incrementing that you can do y minus minus, etc. In this case, we're going to do y plus plus or y plus 1 in this tutorial. So as far as the statement, we're going to type in NSLog so we can see our results. We're going to put our @ sign, and then y equals %i, comma, and then state the variable. Don't forget your quotation mark there. And then follow it up with semicolon at the end. So let's go ahead and run this and see where we're at with the program. Because, if we don't see the evidence behind it, it's kind of hard to understand what a loop does. So as it's building it and going through, I want to let you know I played a little Settlers of Catan today and never played it. I took video of the whole thing. I mean, it was a pretty crazy game. I've never played a board game, that you sit down for 2.5 hours, and I didn't understand it. Basically, the point of it was I got whooped. I put my little cities, my little, I don't know what you call them. I forget what they call it, like little towns, all over the place in the wrong areas to start, and just got pummeled by everyone else. So anyways, our program here has ran. Now, it starts with y equals 2. And if you remember right, the initialization, so we're going to tell our program we want you to start with y equals 2. Or 2. And then you can see it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 22. And we told it to do that. So in here, we told it the next part of it was the condition. We told it only go up to less than 23. Now, keep in mind, we could have done less than or equal to 23, and 23 would have popped up. But since we did less than 23, it stopped at 23. So up to 23 in this case. And then our increment was by 1. So as you can see, it counted up by ones. And then all we did was simply printed out y equals and the following result of the program. So that's kind of the basics of the for. Again, you can modify these. You can put y equals, or y plus 2. So in this case, we run it, and it should go 2, 4, 6, 8 all the way up to less than 23, which the ending resulting number is 22. We could start with y equals 5, add 2 to that, and run that. We got 5, 7, 9, 11, etc. And then we can even change this up. We can go y is less than or equal to 50. I mean, it could be, we'll go 45 in this case, plus 2. So we run the program, and you can see it goes all the way from 5 in the increment of 2 all the way up to 45, or less than or equal to 45. So it's going to stop exactly there. So that's, again, some of the basics of the for loop. We're going to go into some of the other looping functions out there, and we'll continue on with those. So hopefully you guys are learning a lot and doing it on your own, so you kind of understand where we're coming from. And hopefully you guys play that Settlers of Catan and take my advice that you may want to read the directions and position yourself strong at first. Alright, we'll see you guys later.